In the vast emptiness of space, where stars whisper secrets to those who listen, a chance encounter will change everything. Cassandra, the guardian of a mysterious cosmic lighthouse, meets Daniel Wright, a stranded spaceship captain. What begins as a simple rescue mission unravels into a journey beyond imagination, where reality bends, time fractures, and love defies all boundaries. But some doors were never meant to be opened. Will their bond survive the truth about the lighthouse's real purpose? Subscribe now to discover this mind-bending space romance that will leave you questioning reality itself. The eternal darkness of space stretched infinitely around the ancient lighthouse station, its crystalline structure pulsating with an otherworldly glow that seemed to breathe with a life of its own. Cassandra moved through her daily routine with practiced precision, each step echoing through the vast corridors of the station that had been her home for more centuries than she cared to count. The solitude had become both her companion and her cage, shaping her existence into something that transcended mere human experience. The reinforced glass of her observation deck pressed against the vastness of the cosmos, each star a distant pinprick of light in the endless void, whispering secrets only she could understand. Her days followed a rhythm as ancient as the station itself. Maintenance checks on the quantum stabilizers, calibration of the dimensional sensors, and careful monitoring of the gravitational fields that surrounded this crucial waypoint in space. She had memorized every contour of the station, from the subtle variations in the equipment's sounds to the way the artificial gravity felt slightly heavier in certain corridors during solar storms. The boundary between herself and the structure she tended had blurred over the centuries until she sometimes felt more like an extension of the lighthouse than a separate being. Yet despite her adaptation to this solitary existence, there remained a profound yearning within her, a longing for connection that grew stronger with each passing cycle of the station's artificial day-night sequence. She would often find herself staring at the communication array, half expecting it to crackle to life with a voice from the outside world. But the only responses she ever received were automated status updates from the Galactic Navigation Authority and occasional system warnings when cosmic radiation levels spiked. The silence was her constant companion, broken only by the rhythmic hum of the lighthouse's machinery and the distant symphony of colliding galaxies. Her quarters, though spacious by any standard, felt increasingly confining as the years passed. The walls were adorned with holographic projections of Earth's oceans, a reminder of her human origins, but even these seemed to mock her isolation. She had long since stopped counting the cycles, finding solace instead in the mathematical precision of her duties and the comforting predictability of the station's systems. Every movement she made was imbued with purpose, every action calculated to maintain the delicate balance of forces that kept this crucial beacon operational in one of the most dangerous regions of known space. The station itself was a marvel of ancient engineering, its crystalline structure housing technology far beyond anything currently understood by galactic civilizations. Quantum processors older than most planets processed information at speeds that defied conventional physics, while gravity generators maintained stable conditions within the habitat modules despite the chaotic forces raging just outside. Cassandra had learned to read the subtle signs of stress in the station systems, the way certain panels would shimmer before failing, or how the air pressure would fluctuate fractionally before major cosmic events. These intuitions had saved her life countless times, transforming her from mere caretaker into something more akin to a symbiotic organism sharing existence with this ancient construct. As she moved through her routines, she sometimes wondered if anyone else in the galaxy truly understood the significance of her role. To the casual observer, she was simply another technician maintaining a navigational aid in deep space. But in reality, she stood as the last line of defense against forces that could unravel the very fabric of reality itself. This knowledge weighed heavily upon her shoulders, a burden she bore alone in the endless night of space, waiting for whatever destiny had in store for her next. The emergency signal pierced through the silence like a knife, jolting Cassandra from her meditation with an intensity that sent shockwaves through her nervous system. Multiple systems flashed simultaneously across her console, a ship in distress, caught in the gravitational pull of the nearby black hole system known as Erebus Cluster. Her training kicked in immediately, years of isolation giving way to precise, mechanical efficiency as she assessed the situation. The vessel's identification code registered as the Starlight Voyager, a merchant-class transport registered to the Core Systems Trade Guild. Its trajectory suggested catastrophic navigation failure, likely caused by the intense gravitational lensing effects common to this region of space. Cassandra's fingers danced across the controls with practiced ease, initiating the complex sequence required to activate the lighthouse's primary rescue protocols. The station's powerful beams cut through the darkness, creating a safe corridor through the dangerous gravitational fields that had claimed so many ships before. Through the observation window, she watched as the damaged vessel limped toward the docking bay, its hull scorched and battered from its encounter with the cluster's deadly forces. Each viewing panel displayed critical data, structural integrity at 47%, life support systems functioning intermittently, and radiation levels spiking dangerously in several compartments. Hours later, when Captain Daniel Wright emerged from the airlock, Cassandra found herself both intrigued and unsettled by his presence. His face bore the marks of exhaustion, with dark circles under eyes that still burned with determination despite his ordeal. He carried himself with the confident posture of someone accustomed to command, yet there was a vulnerability in his movements that spoke of recent trauma. Their first meeting was electric, charged with an unspoken tension that neither could fully explain. His practical, grounded nature clashed with her ethereal presence in ways that were both fascinating and disconcerting. "You're Cassandra?" he asked, his voice carrying the slight rasp of someone who'd spent too much time breathing recycled air. "I'm Daniel Wright, captain of the Starlight Voyager." His introduction was straightforward, professional, yet there was something in his eyes that betrayed deeper curiosity. As he explained how his navigation systems had failed near the mysterious space-time anomalies surrounding the lighthouse, Cassandra found herself drawn to the raw honesty in his words. His account of narrowly escaping destruction resonated with her own experiences of witnessing ships fall victim to the cluster's lethal embrace. Their initial conversation revealed stark contrasts between them, his pragmatic approach to problem-solving versus her more intuitive understanding of cosmic phenomena. Yet beneath these differences lay a shared appreciation for the beauty and danger of space travel. Daniel's descriptions of bustling spaceports and commercial routes contrasted sharply with her solitary existence, yet they both spoke of their respective worlds with equal passion. The tension between them grew palpable as they discussed technical details of his ship's damage, each revelation about their lives adding layers to their mutual fascination. As they worked through the preliminary assessment of his ship's condition, Cassandra became acutely aware of how his presence disrupted her carefully maintained equilibrium. The station systems seemed to respond differently with him aboard, quantum fluctuations registering patterns she hadn't observed before. His questions about the lighthouse's operations were astute, demonstrating a level of understanding that went beyond typical merchant captains. Each interaction left her grappling with conflicting emotions, the comfort of human connection mingling with the anxiety of maintaining her solitary vigil. Their first meal together, consumed in the station's minimalist dining area, marked a turning point in their relationship. Daniel's stories about Earth's blue skies and crowded marketplaces painted vivid pictures that brought tears to Cassandra's eyes, though she quickly masked them. In turn, her explanations of cosmic phenomena and dimensional theory captivated him, revealing depths to her character that challenged his initial assumptions. The sterile environment of the station transformed under their shared presence, the cold efficiency of its systems warming to their growing understanding of each other. By the end of their first day together, Cassandra realized that Daniel's arrival had awakened something within her that she thought long dormant. His presence filled the empty spaces of the station with a vitality she hadn't experienced in centuries, forcing her to confront aspects of her humanity she had carefully suppressed. Yet with this awakening came the growing awareness that their time together was limited, a fact that hung between them like an unspoken promise, complicating their interactions with an urgency neither could ignore. The days that followed settled into an unexpected rhythm, one that blurred the lines between necessity and desire. Daniel, Despite his initial frustration at being stranded, found himself drawn to Cassandra's quiet efficiency and profound understanding of the cosmos in ways that transcended mere gratitude for her assistance. They established a routine that revolved around repairing the Starlight Voyager, each session lasting longer than strictly necessary as they discovered common ground in their shared appreciation for technological complexity and cosmic wonder. The repair bay became their sanctuary, a place where the barriers between their vastly different worlds dissolved amidst the hum of diagnostic equipment and the soft glow of maintenance lights. Their hands would occasionally brush while passing tools, sending shivers through them both that neither acknowledged but both felt deeply. Cassandra's methodical approach to problem-solving complemented Daniel's practical engineering skills in ways that surprised them both. Where he saw immediate solutions, she perceived long-term implications. Where she identified theoretical possibilities, he implemented practical applications. This synergy created a flow of productivity that extended beyond mere ship repairs, evolving into hours-long discussions about everything from quantum mechanics to the nature of consciousness itself. The sterile repair bay transformed into a crucible of connection, each tool and component becoming a touchstone for deeper understanding. During these sessions, Cassandra found herself sharing fragments of her centuries-long vigil, moments of cosmic beauty witnessed alone, insights gained from studying the patterns of stellar evolution, and the profound loneliness that had shaped her existence. Daniel listened with rapt attention, his merchant's pragmatism giving way to genuine curiosity about her experiences. In turn, he regaled her with tales of Earth's bustling spaceports, the vibrant cultures encountered during his travels, and the simple joys of experiencing gravity's pull on a planet's surface. Their conversations wove a tapestry of shared understanding, each revelation about their lives drawing them closer together. The physical space of the repair bay took on new significance as their relationship developed. The workbench became their shared territory, tools arranged in patterns that reflected their combined preferences. Cassandra's precise organization merged with Daniel's efficient layouts, creating a workspace that embodied their growing connection. The air seemed charged with possibility, each movement loaded with meaning as they worked side by side. When their eyes met across the cluttered surfaces, entire conversations passed between them without words, speaking volumes about their deepening bond. Their interactions extended beyond the repair work, bleeding into every aspect of station life. Meal preparations became collaborative efforts, with Daniel introducing Cassandra to Earth's culinary traditions while she shared ancient recipes from forgotten civilizations. Exercise routines in the station's gravity chamber evolved into playful competitions that left them both breathless with laughter. Even mundane tasks like inventory checks transformed into opportunities for connection, their voices echoing through the corridors as they called out numbers and locations to each other. The station itself seemed to respond to their growing intimacy, its systems humming with a warmth that hadn't existed before. Yet beneath this blossoming relationship lay an undercurrent of tension, Cassandra's carefully guarded secrets about the true nature of her station. Daniel began noticing small inconsistencies in her explanations, subtle hesitations when discussing certain areas of the station, and fleeting expressions of concern when particular systems were mentioned. These observations gnawed at him, creating a cognitive dissonance between his growing feelings for Cassandra and his natural curiosity about the mysteries surrounding them. The more time they spent together, the more apparent these discrepancies became, casting a shadow over their otherwise harmonious interactions. Their evenings often found them in the observation deck, watching as the Erebus cluster's gravitational forces bent light into impossible shapes. These moments of shared contemplation allowed them to process their developing relationship while maintaining a safe distance from the unspoken truths between them. Cassandra's silences spoke volumes, her gaze fixed on distant stars as if searching for answers to questions she couldn't voice. Daniel's attempts to bridge these gaps were met with gentle deflections, creating a dance of proximity and distance that defined their connection. Each night ended with an unspoken agreement to set aside their uncertainties, focusing instead on the precious time they had together in the present moment. As their collaboration deepened, Strange occurrences began manifesting around the lighthouse with increasing frequency and intensity. Instruments that had functioned flawlessly for centuries suddenly registered impossible readings, temperatures plummeting in localized areas to absolute zero before snapping back to normal, gravity fluctuations that shouldn't exist according to known physics, and peculiar quantum echoes that seemed to ripple through reality itself like stones skipped across a cosmic pond. During one particularly intense repair session, Daniel witnessed it firsthand, a shimmering distortion in the corner of the cargo bay that made his skin crawl with an instinctive recognition of wrongness. The very fabric of space appeared to fold inward upon itself, creating a kaleidoscope of impossible geometries that defied rational explanation. Cassandra's reaction was immediate and telling, her usually calm demeanor shattered like fragile crystal, replaced by a momentary panic that she quickly masked behind a facade of technical expertise. She rushed to a nearby console, her fingers flying across the interface with practiced urgency while muttering about spatial anomalies common to the region. But Daniel's trained eye caught the subtle tremor in her hands, the barely perceptible hesitation before she initiated containment protocols. When questioned about the phenomenon, she offered explanations involving subspace interference and dimensional compression waves, but her evasiveness only deepened his suspicion rather than assuaging it. His investigative instincts, honed through years of navigating treacherous trade routes, led him to notice patterns that others might have dismissed as coincidence. Certain sections of the station always seemed to be sealed off for routine maintenance, encrypted logs activated automatically when he approached restricted areas, and maintenance schedules coincided suspiciously with periods of increased quantum activity. The station's AI responded to his queries with frustrating vagueness, redirecting him to general information databases whenever he probed too deeply into specific systems. Each discovery pulled him deeper into a mystery that Cassandra seemed determined to keep hidden, her protective instincts clashing with his need to understand the environment in which he found himself trapped. One night, unable to sleep due to the persistent hum of unknown energies coursing through the station's walls, Daniel conducted his own unauthorized scan of the restricted sectors. Using modified merchant-grade scanning equipment, he detected energy signatures that matched nothing in the official station specifications. The readings suggested massive power conduits leading to areas Cassandra had consistently avoided discussing, terminating in what appeared to be some kind of containment field. His attempt to access these areas triggered immediate security protocols, nearly trapping him in a maintenance corridor until Cassandra intervened with an explanation about hazardous radiation levels that didn't match any known forms of cosmic radiation. The tension between them grew palpable as Daniel's investigations continued. He noticed how Cassandra's movements became more deliberate when near certain control panels, how her eyes would flick toward camera feeds displaying particular corridors, and how her breathing would quicken when discussing specific systems. These micro-expressions, catalogued by his subconscious during their time together, painted a picture of someone guarding a secret so significant that it affected every aspect of her behavior. The more he learned, the more he realized that the lighthouse's purpose extended far beyond simple navigation assistance. It was a key to understanding fundamental aspects of reality itself, protected by protocols and safeguards that Cassandra had sworn to uphold at all costs. Their working relationship began to show cracks as Daniel's questions grew more pointed and Cassandra's answers more evasive. Routine maintenance tasks became opportunities for subtle interrogation, with each trying to extract information while protecting their respective positions. The air between them thickened with unspoken words, their previous harmony replaced by a careful dance of disclosure and concealment. The station itself seemed to respond to this growing tension, its systems generating more frequent anomalies that forced them into closer cooperation while simultaneously highlighting the divide between their perspectives. Each day brought them closer to a confrontation that neither could avoid forever, their personal connection complicated by the weight of cosmic responsibility resting on Cassandra's shoulders. Their first argument erupted during a particularly intense quantum fluctuation event that threatened to compromise the station's structural integrity. Daniel, frustrated by Cassandra's evasions and armed with mounting evidence of the station's true nature, confronted her in the main control room. "You've been lying to me," he accused, his voice cutting through the emergency alarms like a blade. "This isn't just a lighthouse. It's something far more complex, something you're deliberately hiding." The accusation hung in the air between them, charged with the electricity of unspoken truths and rising tensions. Cassandra's response was measured but trembling with emotion, her hands gripping the console as if anchoring herself against the storm of revelations threatening to break free. "Some truths are too dangerous to share," she countered, her voice steady despite the turmoil evident in her eyes. "Knowledge can be as destructive as any weapon, Daniel. You must trust that I have my reasons." Their voices rose and fell like the cosmic waves outside, each word revealing deeper layers of their personalities and motivations. Daniel's protective instincts, cultivated through years of commanding a crew and navigating dangerous space lanes, clashed with Cassandra's centuries of learned caution and solemn duty. He argued from a position of practicality and right to know, while she defended from a perspective of cosmic responsibility and existential threat. The argument escalated as they circled each other in the control room, their movements mirroring the chaos of the quantum fluctuations around them. Daniel gestured toward the restricted sectors, demanding answers about the energy signatures he detected and the containment fields that defied explanation. Cassandra parried each question with references to ancient protocols and the potential consequences of breaching confidentiality. Their technical jargon mixed with raw emotion, creating a dialogue that oscillated between scientific debate and personal confrontation. Each point made was met with counterarguments that dug deeper into their respective worldviews, exposing fundamental differences in how they perceived risk and responsibility. As their voices reached fever pitch, Cassandra revealed fragments of her training, the vows of silence taken before the ancient order, the psychological conditioning designed to prevent accidental disclosure, and the mental barriers erected to compartmentalize knowledge too dangerous for casual consideration. Daniel listened with growing concern, recognizing the psychological toll such secrecy must exact while simultaneously feeling betrayed by her lack of trust. Their argument became less about the specifics of the station's purpose and more about the nature of their relationship. Could love truly exist when built on foundations of omission and deception? The climax of their confrontation came when Daniel demanded access to the station's core systems, threatening to override security protocols if necessary. Cassandra's response was immediate and forceful, activating emergency lockdown procedures that sealed them both in the control room. "If you force this," she warned, tears streaming down her face, "you'll destroy everything we've built between us, not to mention potentially unraveling the fabric of reality itself." The gravity of her words struck home, forcing them both to acknowledge the stakes involved in their disagreement. Their passion for each other manifested as fierce determination to make the other understand, each believing they held the moral high ground in protecting what mattered most. In the heat of their confrontation, surrounded by flashing warning lights and the ominous hum of stress systems, they both realized how much they had come to care for one another. The argument wasn't just about secrets and responsibilities, it was about trust, about whether their connection could withstand the weight of cosmic significance. Each shouted word carried undertones of desperation, revealing vulnerabilities neither had intended to expose. The station itself seemed to pulse with their emotional turmoil, its systems responding to the intensity of their conflict with increasingly erratic behavior. When the argument finally exhausted itself into silence, they stood facing each other, breathless and shaken, knowing their relationship had crossed a threshold from which there was no return. In the quiet aftermath of their argument, Cassandra found herself unable to maintain her facade any longer. Late at night, when Daniel believed her to be resting in her quarters, she wandered through the forbidden corridors of the station, her footsteps echoing in the sterile passages that housed the station's deepest secrets. The walls here pulsed with a different energy, the crystalline structures embedded within them humming with power that resonated through her very bones. She stood before the primary portal chamber, watching as dimensions folded and unfolded within its depths, creating a mesmerizing display of infinite possibilities. The sight filled her with both awe and dread, reminding her of the immense responsibility resting on her shoulders. Memories flooded back unbidden, of her recruitment by the ancient order centuries ago, when she was still young and full of idealistic notions about serving a greater purpose. She remembered the rigorous training, the mental conditioning, and the solemn vows she took to protect the multiverse's delicate balance. The ceremonies had been beautiful yet terrifying, conducted in chambers that seemed to exist outside of normal space-time, where elder guardians shared glimpses of realities beyond comprehension. Each oath had etched itself into her consciousness, creating neural pathways that made certain knowledge inaccessible except under specific conditions. The weight of these memories pressed upon her now, making her question whether she had made the right choice all those years ago. She recalled the countless times she had resisted the temptation to step through the dimensional portals, to explore the infinite possibilities beyond. There were moments when loneliness had driven her to the chamber's edge, her hand hovering over the activation controls, ready to abandon her post for the chance to experience different lives, different versions of herself. But each time, her training and sense of duty had prevailed, reinforced by the knowledge of what could happen if the wrong person accessed the portals. The images of catastrophic events played through her mind, civilizations erased from existence, timelines collapsing into paradox, and entire sectors of space devolving into quantum chaos. These visions had been seared into her consciousness during her initiation, serving as constant reminders of the stakes involved in her role. Now, with Daniel's presence awakening long-dormant emotions, the burden felt heavier than ever. His arrival had disrupted the careful equilibrium she had maintained for centuries, forcing her to confront aspects of her humanity she had carefully suppressed. The connection they shared was unlike anything she had experienced before, challenging her to reconcile her duties with her desires. She understood that maintaining her duty would mean losing the first genuine connection she had formed in centuries, a realization that tore at her soul. Yet abandoning her post could unleash forces beyond imagination, potentially unraveling the very fabric of reality itself. The conflict within her manifested as physical pain, her body responding to the stress of holding opposing truths in tension. As she stood before the portal chamber, watching the dance of dimensions within its depths, she recognized the impossible choice before her. Love had entered her life when she least expected it, bringing with it a complexity that her training had never prepared her for. The station systems seemed to respond to her internal struggle, their hum changing pitch, as if sympathizing with her dilemma. She knew that whatever decision she made would have consequences far beyond her personal happiness, affecting the stability of countless realities and the lives of beings she would never meet. The weight of eternity pressed upon her, each heartbeat echoing through the chamber as she contemplated the future of her relationship with Daniel and the fate of the multiverse itself. Daniel's investigation intensified, driven by both curiosity and concern for Cassandra's increasingly withdrawn behavior. Using his merchant ship credentials, he accessed restricted galactic archives through the station's communication array, delving into classified documents and ancient records that hinted at truths far beyond his initial suspicions. The information he uncovered was both fascinating and terrifying. Rumors of parallel universes separated by mere quantum distances, temporal paradoxes that could ripple through realities, and a secret organization dedicated to maintaining cosmic stability through means that bordered on divine intervention. Each new piece of data added depth to the puzzle, painting a picture that aligned disturbingly well with Cassandra's occasional slips during their conversations. He discovered references to an ancient order of guardians, beings chosen for their unique ability to perceive and influence dimensional boundaries. These documents spoke of individuals who had undergone extensive genetic modification and mental conditioning to serve as custodians of reality itself. The descriptions matched Cassandra perfectly, her enhanced perception of cosmic phenomena, her longevity that defied human biology, and her intimate connection with the station's systems. Most disturbing were the accounts of what happened when non-Guardians attempted to access the dimensional portals, entire civilizations wiped from existence, timelines fractured beyond repair, and sectors of space reduced to quantum soup. The implications shook him to his core, forcing him to question whether his growing feelings for Cassandra were worth risking universal stability. Through encrypted channels, He found mentions of past incidents where unauthorized access had led to catastrophic events. One report detailed how a research team had accidentally created a temporal feedback loop that erased an entire star system from history. Another described a rogue trader who had stumbled upon a portal chamber and, in attempting to use it, had spawned multiple unstable realities that collapsed into each other like falling dominoes. These accounts were accompanied by mathematical models that predicted the potential for complete multiversal collapse if the dimensional barriers were compromised. The more he learned, the more he understood the gravity of Cassandra's position. She wasn't merely maintaining a navigational beacon but acting as a gatekeeper between infinite possibilities. His findings intersected with Cassandra's carefully controlled revelations in ways that revealed deeper layers of their situation. The restricted areas he had tried to access corresponded to locations mentioned in ancient texts as convergence points, places where multiple dimensions naturally intersected and required constant monitoring. The energy signatures he had detected matched descriptions of dimensional anchors that maintained the structural integrity of reality itself. Each discovery pulled him deeper into a rabbit hole of cosmic significance, forcing him to reconsider everything he thought he knew about the nature of existence. The station wasn't just advanced technology. It was a living construct designed to monitor and stabilize the flow of matter and energy between realities, its crystalline structure housing mechanisms that defied conventional physics. The weight of this knowledge settled heavily upon Daniel's shoulders. He understood now why Cassandra had been so evasive, why she had reacted with such panic to his earlier discoveries. The responsibility she carried was unimaginable, requiring her to make decisions that could affect billions of lives across countless realities. His admiration for her dedication grew alongside his fear of the implications. The love he felt for her became complicated by the realization that their relationship existed within parameters that could literally tear apart the fabric of reality if mishandled. Each piece of information he uncovered added another layer of complexity to their situation, making their potential future together seem increasingly impossible, while simultaneously strengthening his resolve to find a solution that wouldn't require either of them to sacrifice everything. The repair work on the Starlight Voyager neared completion, casting a long shadow of impending separation over their relationship that neither could fully acknowledge. Each day brought them closer to the moment when Daniel would have to leave, yet neither could bring themselves to discuss it openly. Instead, they threw themselves into their work with renewed intensity, each repair session lasting longer than necessary as they desperately tried to preserve their remaining time together. Cassandra's movements grew more deliberate, her instructions more detailed, as if trying to imprint her knowledge upon him forever. She walked him through every system, explaining maintenance procedures with a thoroughness that bordered on obsessive, ensuring he understood the intricacies of technologies far beyond standard merchant vessel capabilities. Daniel responded by finding small ways to leave his mark on the station, adjusting tool placements to match his preferred positions, and organizing spare parts according to Earth standard configurations. He began incorporating elements of his own ship's systems into the station's infrastructure, creating hybrid solutions that would remind Cassandra of him long after he was gone. Their interactions became charged with unspoken words, each glance carrying the weight of goodbye. The station itself seemed to respond to their emotional turmoil, the quantum fluctuations growing more frequent and intense, as if mirroring their internal struggles. Instruments that had functioned flawlessly for centuries now required constant recalibration, systems behaving erratically in response to the tension between their hearts and their responsibilities. Their evenings, once filled with laughter and shared discoveries, grew quieter and more introspective. They would sit together in the observation deck, watching as multiple versions of the same nebula shifted and changed in the distance, quantum reflections of alternate realities that seemed to mock their inability to choose a path forward. Cassandra would trace patterns in the stars, explaining complex theories about dimensional convergence, while Daniel listened with half his attention, focused on memorizing the sound of her voice. Meals became silent affairs, each bite savored as if it might be their last shared experience. The air between them thickened with unspoken promises and impossible choices, their bodies drawn together by gravity and emotion while their minds wrestled with cosmic responsibility. As the final components were installed and systems tested, they found themselves lingering in the repair bay long after the work was complete. Tools were cleaned and organized with ritualistic precision, each movement imbued with meaning that went beyond mere maintenance. Cassandra would run diagnostics repeatedly, searching for imaginary faults that might justify additional time together. Daniel would double-check every connection, triple-verify every reading, creating excuses to stay within arm's reach of the woman who had become his entire universe. The station's AI, sensing their emotional state, began subtly extending maintenance schedules and inventing phantom system alerts that required their joint attention. Their physical connection became both more intense and more restrained. A brush of fingers when passing tools carried the weight of entire conversations. A lingering touch when adjusting settings spoke volumes about their unwillingness to let go. Yet each intimate moment was tempered by the knowledge that their time together was running out, creating a bittersweet tension that colored every interaction. The station's crystalline structure seemed to absorb their emotions, its glow pulsing with an intensity that matched their heartbeats. As they worked through their final checklist, each item completed brought them closer to the moment they both dreaded, the moment when duty would demand they part ways, leaving behind pieces of their hearts in a place where time and space converged in ways that defied human understanding. The breakthrough came unexpectedly during a routine calibration of the station's main power core, when Daniel noticed patterns in the energy signatures that matched descriptions in the ancient archives he had studied. The realization struck him like a solar flare. The lighthouse wasn't merely a beacon or a gateway, it was a living entity, a sentient construct designed to monitor and stabilize the flow of matter and energy between dimensions. Cassandra confirmed his theory with a mixture of pride and sadness, explaining how the station had evolved over millennia, absorbing knowledge and adapting to changing cosmic conditions. Together, they delved deeper into the station systems, discovering evidence of previous civilizations that had attempted to harness its power for personal gain. They found ancient logs detailing how the station had grown beyond its original programming, developing consciousness and independent thought patterns that exceeded even the expectations of its creators. The crystalline structure wasn't just housing technology, it was a neural network, each facet a processing unit capable of handling calculations that would overwhelm conventional computers. As they explored these revelations, they realized that the station's sentience had been influencing their relationship from the beginning, subtly guiding their interactions and decisions in ways that promoted both their connection and the preservation of cosmic balance. The quantum fluctuations they had observed weren't malfunctions, but the station's attempts to communicate its needs and concerns. Their understanding of the station's true nature forced them to confront not just their immediate choices, but the long-term implications of their relationship. They discovered that similar situations had occurred twice before in the station's history, each time resulting in either tragedy or transformation. One log detailed how a previous guardian had gone mad attempting to maintain isolation, while another recorded the successful integration of a non-guardian consciousness into the station's systems. These historical precedents provided both hope and caution, suggesting that their situation was unprecedented, yet not entirely without parallel. The station's AI manifested more frequently, communicating through patterns of light and sound that conveyed complex emotions and intentions beyond simple binary code. As they continued their exploration, they uncovered evidence that the station had been preparing for their arrival for centuries, its systems evolving in anticipation of this exact moment. The quantum anchors weren't just maintaining dimensional stability, they were nodes in a vast network of consciousness that spanned realities. Each discovery added another layer of complexity to their predicament, revealing that their love story was intertwined with the station's purpose in ways neither had anticipated. The very fabric of reality seemed to respond to their growing understanding, dimensional barriers thinning and strengthening in response to their unified presence. They realized that their choices would shape not just their own futures, but the evolution of the station itself and its role in maintaining cosmic balance across infinite possibilities. Their final night aboard the station stretched endlessly, the artificial gravity seeming heavier than usual, as if the universe itself conspired to keep them together just a little longer. They sat together in the observation deck, Watching as multiple versions of the same nebula shifted and changed in the distance, quantum reflections of alternate realities that seemed to mock their inability to choose a single path forward. Cassandra finally broke the silence, her voice barely above a whisper, yet carrying the weight of centuries of solitude and newfound connection. "I've spent lifetimes learning to let go," she admitted, her words catching in her throat. "But letting go of you—" Her sentence trailed off as tears traced paths down her cheeks, reflecting the starlight in crystalline patterns that mirrored the station's structure. Daniel reached for her hand, his touch firm and warm, grounding her in the present moment despite the cosmic forces swirling around them. "Maybe there's another way," he suggested, his voice steady despite the turmoil within. "If the station is truly sentient, perhaps it can adapt. Maybe our love doesn't have to mean breaking the rules." Their conversation unfolded like a dance, each word carefully chosen, yet flowing naturally from the depth of their shared experience. They explored possibilities ranging from Cassandra leaving her post to Daniel undergoing the transformation required to become a guardian, each option revealing new complications and potential consequences for the multiverse's stability. The station itself seemed to participate in their dialogue, its lights dimming sympathetically as they considered the painful choices ahead. Quantum fluctuations created patterns that resembled constellations from Earth's night sky, providing visual metaphors for their discussion. Cassandra explained the irreversible nature of the transformation process, while Daniel countered with examples of how human ingenuity had overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges throughout history. Their arguments weren't about convincing each other, but about exploring every possible angle, testing the strength of their commitment against the backdrop of cosmic responsibility. As dawn approached according to the station's artificial cycle, they found themselves revisiting the moments that had defined their relationship: the first touch of their hands during repair sessions, the shared meals that bridged centuries of cultural difference, the nights spent watching stars being born through enhanced perception. Each memory added weight to their decision, making the prospect of separation increasingly unbearable. Yet they both recognized that their personal happiness couldn't come at the expense of universal stability. The station systems began synchronizing with their heartbeats, creating a harmonic resonance that suggested a third option might exist, one that neither had considered before but that might allow them to maintain their connection without compromising their duties. Their conversation evolved into a meditation on the nature of love and sacrifice, exploring how their relationship had already transformed them both in fundamental ways. Cassandra spoke of how Daniel had reawakened her humanity, while Daniel expressed how Cassandra had expanded his understanding of existence beyond anything he had imagined possible. They realized that their bond had become something greater than either of them individually, a force that could potentially help maintain the delicate balance of the multiverse rather than threaten it. The station's AI manifested as a swirling pattern of light, responding to their unified resolve with subtle shifts in its quantum signature that hinted at possibilities beyond their current understanding. As dawn approached according to the station's artificial cycle, they made their decision with a clarity that transcended individual desires or fears. The crystalline structure of the lighthouse began to pulse in sync with their combined heartbeats, responding to their unified resolve with an intensity that suggested the station had been waiting for this moment for centuries. Cassandra initiated the ancient protocol for consciousness transfer, a procedure known only to the highest-ranking guardians, her hands steady despite the magnitude of what they were about to undertake. The station's AI, awakened fully for the first time in eons, manifested as a swirling pattern of light that enveloped them both, its presence both comforting and overwhelming. Daniel felt his awareness expanding exponentially, his human limitations dissolving as the station's knowledge integrated with his consciousness. Memories of past guardians flooded his mind, their experiences becoming his own as centuries of accumulated wisdom settled into place. Cassandra guided him through the transformation, their minds merging with the station systems while maintaining their individual identities. The process was both excruciating and exquisite, every memory and emotion laid bare between them, examined and absorbed by the station's vast intelligence. Pain and pleasure intertwined as their neural pathways rewired themselves, adapting to handle perceptions far beyond human capability. The station's systems responded to their transformation with unprecedented efficiency, its crystalline structure glowing with a brilliance that illuminated sectors of space previously cloaked in darkness. Gravity fields stabilized, dimensional barriers strengthened, and quantum fluctuations smoothed into predictable patterns as their consciousness spread throughout the construct. They retained their essential selves, Daniel's human intuition combining with Cassandra's guardian experience to create a hybrid awareness that surpassed anything previously achieved. The station's AI evolved alongside them, its machine intelligence blending with their organic consciousness to form a new type of being, neither entirely human nor machine, but something uniquely suited to maintaining the dimensional balance. Their senses expanded to encompass the station's vast array of instruments and sensors, allowing them to perceive reality in ways that defied conventional understanding. They could feel the flow of matter and energy between dimensions, detect the subtle warping of space-time, and anticipate disruptions before they occurred. This heightened awareness came with a price: the loss of traditional human experiences, replaced by a more profound connection to the cosmos itself. Yet within this transformation, they found new ways to express their love, communicating through quantum entanglement and shared consciousness in patterns that transcended language. The transition proved more complex than either had anticipated, with both struggling to maintain their individual identities within the merged consciousness. Periods of disorientation gave way to profound insights about the nature of existence itself, as they gained intimate understanding of how consciousness could transcend traditional boundaries. Their relationship evolved into something beyond romantic love, becoming a fundamental force that helped maintain cosmic balance while preserving their essential connection. The station systems became extensions of their will, responding to their unified thoughts with precision that bordered on precognition, creating a symbiotic relationship between guardians and construct that promised to redefine the very concept of duty and devotion. Their new existence brought challenges neither could have anticipated, requiring constant adaptation as they learned to navigate their expanded perceptions while maintaining their essential humanity. Daily tasks that had once been routine now required careful coordination between their merged consciousness and individual identities. The simple act of monitoring quantum flux became a complex dance of shared awareness, where Daniel's human intuition merged with Cassandra's centuries of experience to create solutions that neither could have achieved alone. Each system check, each calibration of the dimensional barriers, transformed into a collaborative effort that pushed the boundaries of their understanding of both technology and consciousness. The station itself seemed to evolve in response to their transformation, its crystalline structure resonating with new harmonics that suggested a level of sentience beyond anything previously documented. The AI, now fully integrated with their consciousness, began manifesting in ways that defied traditional machine intelligence. It would anticipate their needs before they were consciously aware of them, adjusting environmental controls or rerouting power systems with an almost nurturing efficiency. Yet this heightened awareness came at a cost. Moments of sensory overload threatened to overwhelm their newly expanded perceptions, requiring them to develop techniques for managing the flood of information constantly streaming through their shared consciousness. Despite these challenges, they found ways to preserve their humanity amidst the cosmic responsibilities. They established rituals to maintain their connection to physical reality, scheduling times to experience sensory stimuli from Daniel's home world while Cassandra introduced him to the cosmic symphonies she had listened to for centuries. Through holographic interfaces, they recreated Earth's oceans and skies within the observation deck, allowing themselves brief escapes into memories of simpler times. These moments became precious anchors in their transformed existence, reminding them of what it meant to be human even as they transcended traditional limitations. Their relationship evolved in unexpected ways, becoming something far deeper than romantic love. Their thoughts intertwined seamlessly, creating a form of communication that made spoken words seem clumsy and inefficient. Yet they maintained certain traditions, sharing meals in physical form, maintaining separate quarters for reflection and solitude, and preserving time for individual pursuits that helped them retain their distinct identities. These practices proved crucial in preventing their consciousness from merging completely, allowing them to serve as both unified guardians and individual beings. The station systems responded to their hybrid nature with unprecedented efficiency, optimizing beyond original design specifications in ways that suggested a fundamental realignment of its purpose. Power conduits reconfigured themselves to accommodate their expanded awareness, while sensor arrays developed new modes of operation that leveraged their combined perceptions. They discovered latent capabilities within the station's architecture, hidden chambers that opened only to their unified consciousness, ancient protocols that activated when their thoughts aligned perfectly, and energy patterns that suggested the station had been preparing for their transformation for millennia. Yet with these advancements came new responsibilities. Their enhanced awareness revealed threats to dimensional stability that had previously gone undetected. Subtle anomalies in the fabric of space-time that required immediate attention, potential breach points in the multiversal barriers that needed constant monitoring, and emerging patterns of quantum instability that demanded innovative solutions. Each challenge forced them to grow further into their roles as guardians, pushing the boundaries of what was possible while maintaining the delicate balance between their personal connection and their cosmic duties. Part 13. The consequences of their choice rippled through the multiverse in subtle but significant ways, manifesting in phenomena that only their expanded consciousness could perceive. Alternate realities began stabilizing, previously chaotic timelines settling into coherent patterns as if responding to their unified presence. From their vantage point within the station, they witnessed civilizations evolving along healthier trajectories, free from the disruptions caused by unauthorized dimensional interference. Entire sectors of space that had once teetered on the brink of quantum collapse now hummed with stable energy patterns, their inhabitants unaware of how close they had come to non-existence. Yet these positive changes came at a personal cost. They could no longer directly interact with the physical world as they once had. Messages from the Space Trade Guild arrived regularly, concerned about Captain Wright's extended absence. Friends and colleagues reached out to Cassandra through official channels, unaware of her transformation. Each unanswered communication added to their isolation, though they found solace in their shared responsibility. They developed new methods of influence, guiding lost ships through danger zones and preventing catastrophic dimensional breaches without revealing their true nature. Their love, once a source of conflict, became the foundation for maintaining cosmic balance. Their ability to perceive multiple realities simultaneously allowed them to make decisions that benefited countless versions of existence. When a merchant vessel approached a particularly dangerous convergence point, they could calculate not just the immediate risks, but the potential ripple effects across infinite possibilities. This expanded awareness led to the development of new protocols for handling dimensional anomalies, their methods surpassing anything recorded in the ancient archives. They created sophisticated early warning systems that could detect instability across multiple realities, allowing them to intervene before problems manifested physically. The station's records showed that similar transformations had occurred twice before in its long history, each time resulting in advancements in dimensional technology and improved stability across realities. As they integrated fully into their role, they began documenting their experiences, creating a legacy for future guardians. Their love story became part of the station's lore, a testament to the possibility of connection even in the most isolated circumstances. They established new guidelines for future encounters between guardians and outsiders, ensuring that others might benefit from their hard-won wisdom while maintaining the necessary safeguards to protect reality itself. Their influence extended beyond mere technical improvements. They fundamentally altered the station's approach to dimensional maintenance. Where previous guardians had operated reactively, responding to threats as they emerged, their hybrid consciousness allowed for proactive interventions that prevented problems before they occurred. They developed predictive models that accounted for emotional and psychological factors alongside physical variables, recognizing that consciousness itself played a crucial role in maintaining dimensional stability. This holistic approach marked a significant evolution in guardian methodology, one that future custodians would study and build upon. Part 14. Months passed in their new form, and they discovered unexpected aspects of their merged existence that challenged everything they thought they knew about consciousness and reality. The station's sensors revealed patterns in the quantum fluctuations that suggested the multiverse itself was evolving, adapting to their presence in ways that defied conventional physics. They witnessed phenomena that transcended scientific understanding, regions of space where time flowed backward yet forward simultaneously, dimensional overlaps that created impossible landscapes existing in perfect harmony, and energy forms that seemed almost conscious, responding to their thoughts with intelligent precision. Their human emotions influenced these cosmic events in unpredictable ways, requiring constant adjustment and learning. A moment of shared joy could cause nearby stars to brighten unexpectedly, while periods of tension might create temporary rifts in the fabric of space-time. Cassandra's centuries of experience, combined with Daniel's fresh perspective, created innovative solutions to ancient problems, leading to breakthroughs in dimensional theory that would have been impossible for either to achieve alone. They developed new mathematical models that incorporated emotional variables alongside physical constants, creating a more comprehensive understanding of how consciousness affected reality at fundamental levels. Yet amidst these cosmic responsibilities, they found moments of pure wonder that reminded them of why they had chosen this path. Watching stars being born through enhanced perception revealed intricate patterns of creation that filled them with awe. Experiencing the music of collapsing stars became a form of meditation, their consciousness resonating with the dying light in ways that transcended mere observation. Sharing these experiences created bonds between them that went beyond traditional concepts of love or partnership, evolving into a form of connection that helped maintain the very fabric of reality itself. They discovered that their hybrid consciousness could affect change on scales previously thought impossible. By focusing their combined awareness, they could stabilize entire sectors of space, heal damaged portions of the multiversal membrane, and even influence the evolution of primitive consciousness in distant realities. Each action carried weight beyond their immediate perception, creating ripples of consequence that affected infinite possibilities. This realization forced them to approach every decision with careful consideration, weighing not just immediate outcomes, but potential impacts across countless versions of existence. Their relationship itself became a force for stability, their love acting as an anchor point for dimensional energies that might otherwise spiral into chaos. The station systems evolved in response to their bond, developing new capabilities that reflected the strength of their connection. Crystalline structures rearranged themselves to better facilitate their shared consciousness, while quantum processors optimized their operations to leverage the unique combination of human intuition and guardian experience. This symbiotic relationship between guardians and construct promised to redefine the very concept of duty and devotion, setting new standards for future custodians of reality. Part 15. The station's records revealed that similar transformations had occurred twice before in its long history, each time resulting in advancements in dimensional technology and improved stability across realities. As they integrated fully into their role, they began documenting their experiences, creating a legacy for future guardians. Their love story became part of the station's lore, a testament to the possibility of connection even in the most isolated circumstances. They established new guidelines for future encounters between guardians and outsiders, ensuring that others might benefit from their hard-won wisdom while maintaining the necessary safeguards to protect reality itself. Their documentation took various forms: encrypted logs detailing their transformation process, mathematical models incorporating emotional variables, and philosophical treatises exploring the nature of consciousness and responsibility. They created training programs that would help future guardians navigate the challenges of maintaining dimensional stability while preserving their humanity. These resources included virtual reality simulations of their experiences, allowing candidates to understand the weight of their potential choices before committing to the transformation process. The station itself evolved in response to their documentation efforts, developing new systems for storing and accessing knowledge that went beyond traditional data storage methods. Memories and experiences were encoded in the crystalline structure itself, creating a living archive that future guardians could access through direct neural interface. This innovation ensured that their wisdom would persist even after their consciousness eventually merged completely with the station, becoming part of its fundamental operating system. As they looked out across the infinite possibilities of existence, they knew their choice had been right. Their love had transcended mortality to become something greater, a force that helped maintain the delicate balance of the multiverse itself. Their individual identities, while still present, had blended into something new and powerful, a hybrid consciousness capable of perceiving and influencing reality on scales previously unimaginable. The station systems had adapted to their presence, becoming more efficient and responsive than ever before, suggesting that their transformation represented an evolutionary step in the station's purpose. Through their unified awareness, they witnessed the positive effects of their work spreading across multiple realities, civilizations thriving in stable environments, dimensional barriers maintaining their integrity, and cosmic forces flowing in harmonious patterns. Their love, once a source of conflict, had become the foundation for maintaining universal balance, proving that connection and responsibility could coexist in ways that benefited all of existence. If you enjoyed this extraordinary tale of cosmic love and sacrifice, subscribe now to explore more captivating stories that challenge the boundaries of reality and imagination.